locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour, every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Soulful Casino in Havelock is a family-owned business, providing incredible food and service that'll have you craving more with every bite. Soulful Casino offers everything from pulled pork to fried chicken, catfish, ribs, and even quesadillas. You want sides? They've got them. From fries, green beans and baked beans, to collard greens, potato salad, and sweet dill corn. Stop by for lunch as they have specials Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. That's Soulful Casino, located in Havelock, where every bite you take fills the soul.
Del and Ed present A Kernel of Truth.
That's Ed's new drone. Why do a couple of Nebraska corn farmers need a drone? 2 words: multi-spectral imaging. Drones help us farm more efficiently and protect planet Earth. Yep, Ed's a pretty good pilot. When he doesn't hit the broadside of a barn, that is. Nebraska corn. It's the plant that can change the planet.
Visit nebraskacorn.gov to learn more.
How many times has the dad in your life complained about being tired and sore and done nothing about it? Why not change things up this year for Father's Day with a gift certificate for a massage from the Body Shop? It's not a day at the golf course or a new tool for the shop, but it is something that can make activities less painful going forward. Get Dad a gift certificate today for Father's Day at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plant for success with the industry's latest technology. Upgrade to an Exactly Merge high-speed planter to cover more acres, increasing flexibility and productivity. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location to order your new John Deere planter and experience the Landmark difference.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
I'm Ryan Osted. Golf is great because it can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to go out and have a competitive 18 holes, you can make it that. If you want to go out and have a scramble and just have the time of your life, if you want to have a charity golf tournament to raise money for some great cause, you can make it that. It is flexible to be whatever you need it to be at that particular moment in your life. And I've needed golf to be different things at different points in my life. And I'm certainly thankful that I was able to learn the game as a kid and continue to play it now as an adult.
Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, Call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to it on a Monday. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. 402-464-5685 if you have questions for our guest tonight. And these are football, coaching, and parent questions in full. So if you have questions about your young people, questions about quarterback play, whether it be on the pro level, college level, high school level, development, mentality, psychology behind it, mechanics behind it, now's the time to load up your questions and get them ready for our guest. Again, you can follow along on the streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, if you will, and see what's going on. Again, we'll be Allo 961 until. So if you're local, you can just jump on the stream. You can jump on Allo Fiber, and you can follow along and be a part of what we're doing. Why? Because on this particular night, we're able to have some pretty good conversation. I like to challenge him. And for those that know our guest, you understand my relationship with him. He is a mentor. He is a dear friend. He was the captain of my high school football team. He is the developer of some of the great young quarterback talent in the country. In that area, he's also a pretty darn good basketball coach. His brother is the head baseball coach at Georgetown University, and he comes from a family. Quite frankly, I was blessed to know his wife in high school all the way through. She is an exceptional woman. I got to be in the space with his daughter, who is just one of the great young artists in this country. I got to actually coach his young man, Miles, before he went to Penn. And I get to sit shotgun on a lot of his great works in humanity and who he is as a person. But quite frankly, in this space, he is a great evaluator of football talent. And I wanted to have him speak to you tonight. So let's bring in. He identifies himself as just a ball coach, but he is more than that. From Fairfax Football Academy, one of my favorite human beings on the planet, Barry Thompson, joins us here on 101. BT, what's happening, baby?
DP, are you with me?
DP, are you with me? DP, I'm with you, baby.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And this, and in full disclosure, I mean, you know, we've done a lot together here on 93.7 The Ticket, and just introducing you to Husker football fans and Creighton and Husker basketball fans, so they understand kind of what it is. I want to share a moment though. Let's go in a different direction real quick. I want you to talk about your brother Edwin and what he's done. And I know you light up. You can't talk about other people, but your brother, what he's done for Georgetown baseball is pretty exceptional. Let's talk about Edwin Thompson.
Just the numbers speak for himself. 6 wins the first year. I think he met the team like a week before because of COVID, a week before they could get out. Then he followed it up with a 31 season. Just recently, they lost their opening game of the Big East tournament, but played their way back through to have a chance at the championship against St. John's. There's double elimination tournament. They'd already lost once, so unfortunately lost the first game. I think the season he finished up with 36 wins, 37. I don't want to cut him short, but he is a guy who can pick them and can coach them. And I'm just as proud of Georgetown as anybody from the DMV. But hope I'm not speaking out of school, but he's doing it with not the same resources as other athletic programs. He's just that type of guy where if there's an obstacle, let's figure a way around it. Let's get it done. Knows how to sell a school, knows how to take advantage of the resources that he does have. And he can bring a group of people together to play some winning baseball. And that's what he's done. He's won the most ever in a single season in Georgetown's program history. I think it's the third time he's done that. I could go on and on about Edwin. I'm so unbelievably proud of him. And he's a great coach. And anybody out there that's serious about, picking up the program, they need to get their wallet out, go get him, and let him go coach.
Yeah, he's a dude. I mean, he won at Western Kentucky, winning now Georgetown. As a matter of fact, they came to Nebraska, came to Omaha, and swept Creighton on their own turf.
Yeah,
went through and look. They went to Ohio State, put a thump on, swept them. And Barry mentioned it. And I want to be true to it. That when you go and see Georgetown's facilities, they're nothing compared to Nebraska's. Scholarships, money behind resources, all of that. So there's a way to do the things that need to be done, and he's doing it all the right way. Just impressive to be there. I also want to reintroduce your family to Nebraska, because listen, we know how business is really being done, and that for good men that having a queen in the building matters.
No question.
And then you have produced two incredible young people. Let's talk about the Thompson clan a little bit.
Yeah, it starts with Cindy. We met in high school, got separated by college, and life kind of brings you back together. We started a family. Of course, it went just like that. Then Leela came along first, and then my son Miles, and they've just been great. Cindy's been great. I guess the best way to explain it is, when you're around a lot of coaches, some of them have that little tension between how much time they're spending with football and how much time they're spending at home. It's a pretty common thing. And I remember at one point I was going to apply for a position, and I thought that it was going to take up more time. And I wanted to have a family meeting and, to talk about it. And by the time I got home, Leela was so fired up about me coaching that she not only had me in that job, but she had me going in the future being the head coach at LSU, and Miles would go to Texas, and she would go to. She had a whole thing mapped out.
Right.
So I've had great support from my family, coaching. It's just been phenomenal, and now it's gone full circle where Miles is actually doing my social media and organize my social media team while he gets his music thing going. So it's just been wonderful. I've been really blessed.
Yeah, I actually played some of Miles's music back in the old days with Tom Stevens. We got to do that. And Barry, just to point out how you've landed here, immediately when it was announced that you were coming on, a texter texted in and said, "Wait a minute. Barry has his own intro music, and you didn't play it."
They
remember. So I tell you what, in segment 2, I will certainly bring you in the old way.
Well, let me tie something into. I talked to Miles. I told him that I'd be on, and I said, you should come up with a beat for us. And he said he's working on something. So.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be fire. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in all of that. A big part of this, and again, I had the fortune of playing in a program that was led by you, so I learned early on what leadership should look like, could look like. And I'll ask you this thing. It's pretty funny because, and to tell you that Barry was the leader, he was any combination. If you want to take Lamar, Vic. Those left-handed dual threat quarterback, and then take it back to 1978 and 1979, like that, a left-handed running, throwing black quarterback in a white school, mind you. So how good do you have to be the captain in that situation. And then, oh, you're the captain of the wrestling team, captain of the track team. Hey, no, it just kind of happens. Yeah, no. Barry was that dude. So just to tell you that legitimately, athletically, he was special. And then the leadership thing kind of evolved. And some of that comes from your dad. Please talk about your dad.
Oh, TP, you're really hitting me hard today. I mean, my dad was, geez, feel like I'm on Barbara Walters interview. You asked him about my wife, asked him about my kids, asked him about my dad.
There's a reason. There's There's no BT without him, so I know that.
Let me get my words together. My dad was just tremendous. One of the try to get into some. He was the type of guy that when you would hear about him, they would say, "Man, he's a good man." You would hear that a lot, like he's a good man. He was the type of guy that when he set his mind to something, he would make it happen. It might not happen exactly what you thought it was. I'll give you a good story about my dad. He, for a long time, wanted a Porsche. And that was his goal. He wanted a Porsche. And so, we were doing all kinds of things. And then one day he said, I finally got this Porsche. And we were expecting the Carrera, the shiny one, whatever it was at the time. But it was a 914. It was the one that they all have Volkswagen engines in it, but the 914 was pretty close to like a souped up Volkswagen. But he accomplished his goal. It was, he had a Porsche. He was really huge with young people, getting them outside of their element. He was really big on that. And he just, I guess I'm rambling, but I'll tell you a story about my dad. One day I was transitioning careers, and I knew I was going to have to work a lot. And I was standing there face to face, and I said, "But I don't know how my social life's going to work out." And he looked at me and he said, "It'll work out." And I said, like thinking that he didn't hear me, I reiterated how busy the schedule was, and I didn't know if I'd have a life, and I didn't know if that'd be good. And he goes, "It'll work out." I dared to say it another time. He bowed up and said, "It will work out." And I said, "Okay, it'll work out." And it did. He was just that type of guy that had the ultimate belief in us, was extremely, extremely proud of his children, grandchildren. He got a chance to be around when Lila was born. He kidnapped her. Still mad at him, even though he's up there probably smiling. Just an outstanding human being, I think is the way to say it. He's and the last thing about it, there's a weird north-south split in my family, and he wound up moving to Maine and buying a business. It's just weird, and we'll talk about some other time. But he buys it, and he runs it from Virginia, and eventually the time comes when I'm going off to college that he decides to make the move up there. This is not coastal Maine. This isn't Bangor. This isn't, on Bar Harbor. This is Maine, central western Maine.
Right.
And when he passed, that town of about 6,000 people overflowed a gym for that guy. And they still talk about him to this day. When it comes up, if I post anything, all these people that are grown now that were associated around the rink that knew him, still to this day, 20 some years later, are still putting comments about how he, they miss him, they impacted him. I know I'm doing a bad job, but he was a good man. He was a good father. I was really blessed.
Incorrect. You were incorrect. You were doing a great job. Harrison is sitting here nodding with you because it's landing. And a big part of this as well, when I said I was moving to Lincoln, Nebraska, you started screaming about O Street.
Right.
And I'm like, I had no idea what O Street was about. I had how did you know about O Street?
Well, it was through skating. When I was younger, I was a competitive skater, and people that are a little bit older there would remember that Nebraska was where the U.S., I think the Roller Skating Rink Operators Association was, and then something I think called USAC was stationed there. The idea way back when of amateur sports that they had kind of a central location for that stuff. National championships were held in Lincoln at the old what's the old place? Not the Persian Auditorium. Persian? Yeah, Persian Auditorium. And then also down in Fort Worth at the Will Rogers Memorial. Idea that it was kind of centrally located, people from the coast and so forth. And so some of my first trips to nationals were in Lincoln. And so that's O Street. That's the Cornhusker Hotel. People who are a little bit older remember when the airport was just getting built in. The Hilton was by the airport, all that kind of stuff way back when. So yes, O Street, Cornhusker Hotel, which is, I think, is it still around or they
Still
take
there,
it down?
bro.
So
Still
take it
2
down.
blocks from us. 2 blocks from us. You don't have to go far.
Yeah.
You
So
don't have to go far. But here's the other thing. You weren't the first Thompson to wear Nebraska gear that I've been sending back to you. There's a Thompson with some Husker gear in his back.
You really digging. Yes. There's 3 boys. I'm the oldest. My brother Darius is 4 years younger than I. And so at that time, what a lot of Nebraska folks may not know, on the East Coast, the Huskers were a big thing. I remember when I was in high school, I would park it when the Oklahoma Husker game would come on, that Thanksgiving game. And so my brother got a little bit of that fever, and when he was deciding where to go, he decided to go to Nebraska. I think he tried the walk-on route for a little bit, and he knows quite a few players from his area. He hung out with them. So he's even got a picture in the newspaper, the crazies with the overalls and the stripes, and Darius has got one of those. So he's a Husker. Yep.
Like I try to explain to people that it's funny because whenever I post, of course, Darius Darius was the little brother who would just follow Barry around and be a nuisance. Yeah. But he grew into quite the man. And
yes, he did. Yes,
he still carries that Husker pride along the way. Here's what I have to do because I've been asked this so many times that when you've been on air and they're like, okay, there's a question you have to ask Barry so that people that know DP now can have some understanding.
Okay.
You're probably the most appropriate person to ask to give a scouting report of me as a football player.
The best thing I say is
no.
I got to see.
That's hilarious.
Your setups make me nervous, man. I'm like, what's coming next? But no, that's an easy thing. When I was playing, if I wanted something, it was going to DP. It's the easiest thing I can say. Not the best thing, but it's a singular thing. You would both remember the West Springfield game, and we were having a tough time, and I just turned him in the huddle. I said, "Can you do this?" He goes, "Yeah, get it there," and we got it there. That's what I can describe about DP. I wasn't a huge baseball fan, although we had a great baseball team and he played a lot of great players. I knew there were great players in the school, so I didn't really witness that part of it. But I witnessed the part of it when he was on the field with me, and that's like if I needed something, he said yes, that was it. And actually, that's played out. That's played out to how we met after 23 years.
Yeah, I mean,
it was the same thing. DP's. I've always asked him. He says yes, and to have a teammate like that is for life. Is just you're lucky. You're lucky.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we count the blessing. To find good-hearted people doing good-hearted stuff, and it's been the mission. I mean, a lot of the study program stuff that we put into play, those were inspired by Barry Thompson. Yeah. I had done something similar in Utah, but getting together with Barry, and so I was going to coach for another organization when I moved back to Virginia, and I go to weigh-ins, and there, as soon as I walk in the door, there's Barry Thompson. And they were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What are you doing?" And I'm
you're a great storyteller, but I got this story down.
Yeah.
Set the scene for the listeners. This school is a smaller school. And it's built kind of funny, in which you have two kind of essentially side entrances, and it has a long continuous hallway. And this was a youth weigh-in, and I'm coming from one day, and I'm walking down this long unencumbered hallway. And DP's coming from the opposite direction. Now, the background was I had just been named the head freshman coach at a public school. And my staff was starting to fall apart. Just one guy said he wasn't coaching. He didn't call me back. I had another guy that got kicked out of the, what do we call it, gatehouse, for his background stuff. And it was something weird. So I'm approaching that Friday. I'm like, holy crap, who do I have coaching? So Saturday, there's this weigh-in. And I walked down the hall, and I haven't seen DP in almost a quarter century, about 20-something years. Yeah. And my first words to him were, "What are you doing?" And he says, what do you need me to do? I said, I need you to get your stuff to Gatehouse and get clear because your coach. And that was our first face-to-face conversation after 23. So I'm not lying to you when I said on that football field, if I needed something, DP was like, yes, let's go get it done.
Yeah, like it's so funny because, again, I was in my, some 15 years later, I was in my, hey, I'm going to retire. I'm just going to be an old coach and a fan. And then I run into Barry Thompson, who changes everything because not only does he pull me into this thing. Now, this is a big high school compared to most parts of the country. But in Fairfax County, it's a small school. It's got a small number of students. But it's affluent and they've got some people. I don't ask any more questions because Barry Thompson said, I need you to coach with me. Said, hey, yeah, we gone. We show up at practice, and there's like 50 kids. And it's me and Barry.
Yeah, let's put it. So when I picked DP up, I felt kind of relieved at that time because I had one guy, Josh Richards, who was coaching with me. So at DP, now I got 3, and we got 50-some kids coming, and we're doing it. Well, the very next week, as DP's getting clear, Josh says, I got some good news and some bad news. I said, well, what's the good news? He says, I got a promotion. I said, what's the bad news? He says, I can't be here during practice. So, yes, when we took the field, there was 2 coaches with 50 kids.
50 kids who are new at a school, right? And our schedule doesn't care. Like we're going to face TC. We're going to face some powerhouse programs. And so then it comes to, okay, B, I guess I'm the line coach because you're going to coach the quarterbacks and the running backs and receivers. And I'm like, okay, fine. And literally on the fly, I sprint down. I got to coach offensive and defensive lines. I simply asked Barry, what are you running?
Yeah.
What are you running? What are you, no, the right phrase was, what are you trying to run? Because I got to figure out, hey, man, let's get it through. And then it leads to another thing because we connect on so many levels about how we were going to do it. But positive and forward coaching was paramount. It was the thing. And then the academic side was the focus.
Yeah.
And to have a coach who not only says I'm an academics first coach, but to actually be active in that, I have to, there's so many parts of the story that before we get to having him break down Dylan Raiola, which is a thing that I know some Husker fans want, but I need Barry to tell the academic story. And then I need for him to tell the basketball story because when you talk about how a real coaching relationship, how a real brotherhood works, just as he could ask me for anything, I could ask him for anything.
Almost anything. He couldn't give me the baseball, though.
Right. We were so close. We were so close. Because I knew. Because listen, Edwin's out there. Look, I know baseball's in him. Like, if I can get him to work his mechanics for pitchers, I'm going to have some dudes. But here's what we'll do. We'll toward the break. When we come back, we'll talk about the basketball side of it, the academic side of it, because it's still a part of how you produce young people, young quarterbacks now.
To this day.
Yep. And we'll talk about Dylan Raiola and what you've seen on tape and what Husker fans can look forward to from this young man slinging the football for the Scarlet and Cream. DP,
let me give a little tease. He's good.
Yeah, that part. DP, Coach Barry Thompson, one-on-one. We'll be right back.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the pursuit of justice for those that have been injured. My name is Eric Hagan, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our detail-oriented trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Once again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane. Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The Electrical Workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plant for success with the industry's latest technology. Upgrade to an Exactly Merge high-speed planter to cover more acres, increasing flexibility and productivity. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location to order your new John Deere planter and experience the Landmark difference.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends. For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you wanna come and text us,
if you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam,
then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fansteel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for The Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to One on One with DP, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
So that's the proper introduction for Barry Thompson. That is the proper standard to be set. That is the so Barry's a Raiders fan, and so whenever he would come on, we would play that, and we have to bring that back.
That's pretty legendary.
Yeah, we have to bring that back to set the table. Barry Thompson, Fairfax Football Academy, joins us on One-on-One. We're talking about some of the philosophy, some of the things that happen behind this, but that, as Barry said, he could ask me for anything, and the answer is yes. And Barry, that's a short list of people in this world that if they ask, the answer is yes, and they've invested and they've got the resume and the trail for it. But through this, so at this school, I jumped into basketball, and I said, Barry, I need you, because he came up with this study program that is a big part of what Love Prince is. And Barry, I'd like for you to explain the importance of academics and why you came up with this program for us to use to help athletes be the greatest version of themselves.
Right. Well, the original motive was kind of selfish, to be honest with you. I was the commissioner of a youth club. Just to help your listeners, I got started coaching late. I didn't coach in my 20s and 30s. Coaching has been the biggest surprise of my adult life. So I got involved with this youth club, trying to turn it around and growing it. And I remember at one point there was a kid said, I can't come to practice because I have homework. And I'm like, okay, like something's not right here. So by the time I got to Woodson, I had formulated this plan because I just started thinking about how people allocate their time, and how could a kid that's in fourth grade tell me that he can't make a Wednesday practice because he has homework? There's something not right there. And so the essence of it is just to get the player and the parents to understand that the student is going to put down exactly how they spend their 168 hours during the week, and to be brutally honest about it. And when we've given the assignment, we give very little instruction, which causes some consternation. But what happens is, DP kind of picked this up, you get brain typing because of what they turn into you. You can begin to understand your players on a different level. But here's the major point. If a typical high school student subtracts all the things that they have to do, sleep, go to school, eat, shower, all those types of things, they are typically left with, I think, 60 to 50 hours, somewhere in that range of time now to what is it I can do. And we ask them to include their games in that 168 when they subtracted. So when you look at the 50 hours, you have to make them understand, like a lot of them don't know what that means. And that's, I would always say, well, that means you go in the library on Monday at 8:00 and you stay there till 6:00, and you do that Monday through Friday. They begin to pick up what that is. Now, from that 50 or 55, the typical guy that's going to do 3.5 or better will spend anywhere from 15 to 35 hours studying. So then you start subtracting that out, and you start saying, okay, how much homework does that mean each night? And when you go through the exercise and you talk about their free time during the day, that they're chatting, so they're getting their work done, the whole idea is to define education first in a way that puts it in the right priority slot, which is after faith and family, it's education. If they do that, then it leaves ample time to be good at what they say they want to be good at. The issue is that most parents have grown up forever saying, hey, if you don't get your grades, I'm taking the sport away. The sport isn't the problem. It's all the other things that they're putting ahead of their education. And so this clearly defines it for them. And it's just been a wonderful thing. Now the parents know that we mean what we say. Now the players don't have conflicts during the season, because if they do, they know, the coaches know, hey, you didn't follow the plan that we talked about. And by the way, our plan includes them getting their behind parts in bed by 9:30 at night, which is right. And then 8 hours of sleep is 5:30. And you go, okay, what are you doing between 5:30 and 7? And they start to think, oh. And I said, well, here's the thing. You're doing something right now between 9:30 and 12. You have to decide, is that more important than what you say you want to do? It's just a huge clarification thing. And it puts school right where it needs to be. Can I tell a funny story about the DP?
We have several.
DP went so far as he told the basketball team that when they were in school, they were to have their books out. So this locker room situation was just, it can lead to a lot of stuff. They had to be there for a while before we could pick them up. So DP didn't want any nonsense. So he told them, you're in the locker in your dress, have your books out. So one day I walked in, I see 15 guys sitting there on the bench with their books out. So one day, the biggest player on the team, he is there in the room and he doesn't have his book. And DP says, did you bring a coat? He goes, yes. He goes, why don't you get your coat? You have a phone? He said, yeah, it's in my coat. Why don't you put your coat on, get your phone out, and call your mom to tell her to come pick you up. Now, where we practice is way at the other end, and it had a small little door. So we're in there practicing, and we hear this tap, 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 tap at the door. And he had this kid's about 6'5", probably about 260. He had the saddest look on his face. And DP says, that didn't work out too well for you, did it? He goes, no. It was like simple things like that. And we never had problems academically.
No.
And the kids played, and it just went on from there. So that's how we did it.
78% of our student athletes achieved a 3.5 GPA or higher. Yeah. We also won 78% of our games. They're the same. And we pointed out, one, that we were adults who, and in this world, there aren't enough adults who mean what they say.
Yeah.
Right? To say that, listen, I'm going to walk in here, no matter what time I walk into the locker room, the books have to be open. As a matter of fact, it took them a matter of days to figure out that I would ask. Okay, eyes up. What's on that page? What are you reading? What did you just learn? Yeah. And it meant something. And then the other part of it, and Barry was profound in it, to say that, listen, of that 168, I get you for an hour and a half a day. I never promised what we're going to prioritize in that hour and a half. And if you've done everything that you promised, committed to do, we can play football. We can play basketball.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, that hour and a half goes back to the academic priority.
Yeah.
And he would pull players from practice.
Yeah. And that the same kid who did the tap on the door, it came up with him when I coached that JV team. I picked the team and I went down the registrar to look at the grades. And for anybody who's ever done this before, when you look at the grades, you can kind of tell how you need to coach your team. And I always divide it in thirds. There's, if you have a team of 15, 5 of them are going to do what they're supposed to do all the time. just because you said it. There's going to be a 5 who are kind of agnostic. They'll go either way. And you got this bottom 5. They're leaders too, but they're often will lead the wrong way. If you say go left, they're going to go right, that type of thing. So I picked the roster up, and I had a glaring thing. There were some terrible grades from the same kid that we're talking about. They were terrible. And his mom was a educator at one of the top magnet schools. So it made no sense. So I got permission from the varsity coach, and I told his mom what I was going to do, and I brought him in, and I made him explain to me every one of I said, don't lie to me. Tell me about every one of these grades. And after that, I said, tell me what's going to take to move them up, that type of thing. And he did. And I said, well, here's the deal. You're coming to practice every day, but you're going to bring your books. You're sitting next to the managers. If you need help, they're there to help you. If I need someone else to get you help, but that's what you're doing. You're not dribbling a basketball when you have grades like this. And to his word, when he got a grade moved up to where it needed to be, I would give him 10 minutes of individual time. And it kind of went like that. By the time we got into the first part of January, he had cleared everything up. So now instead of losing a kid, right, in the middle part of January, now I've gained a kid. And it reinforced everything with the team, because anything else I said to any of the other guys, they knew I meant what I said. And I think that's so important when you're around young people, because they'll sniff it out right away.
Yeah, there were no problems with academics for the rest of this team.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I mean, that team almost went undefeated
Mm-hmm.
because of the rules of play. And quiet as quiet kept, that's the group that won that school's first state title.
That's right. That's right.
That's the group, because of that sort of discipline. And you try to explain to people, you can make excuses or you can make a way. And Barry Thompson was just profound in saying, hey, this is what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And I said I needed him as a part of the basketball to tell you that Barry Thompson had not coached basketball.
Right.
And I'm pulling him into this thing. I'm like, first of all, you come with me. We'll run whatever offense you want, because defensively, I'm like, listen, I'm going to get him ready to win the title defensively.
Right.
Whatever you run offensively is going to be good.
Right.
And year 2, and then we didn't have the highest level of success in year 1. Year 2, Haas was the JV coach. Haas moved up to focus on varsity. And Barry's thing was, okay, I'll take over freshman. I'm like, no, you're going to move up to JV. I'm going to get the young guns and set the boundary. I need for you to color in the lines and to give them the creative and the intelligence IQ to win in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
And they went 15-1.
Yeah. And another DP point, when he asked me that, I said, I'll do it, but you got to help me pick the team. And true to the wise ones, I was looking around. There was somebody at the back end of the roster, which you always have to pay attention to. And I was about to make a left-hand turn when I should have gone right. And his eyes got big and he was, no. You need to take this one. And it made all the difference in the world. You don't think about it, but that back end of the roster is every bit as important as the front of the roster. And so those two things coming together really helped those kids set them on their way.
And again, this is the group that won back-to-back regions and won a state title in 6A in Virginia.
Yeah.
And not for record. I mean, the folks who are listening, they know Haas Tabrizi well enough now know. Again, to think that Barry Thompson, DP, Haas Tabrizi are coaching at a high school in Virginia.
Yeah.
And none of them were the program heads.
Right.
That's how standard. And that's why when we watch Nebraska, when we watch schools here, everything I need to know is right in front of me. I know what it looks like. I know what it's supposed to look like. I know what it's supposed to sound like. And if it doesn't, I say so. Now we'll go to break.
Okay.
Barry, we'll come back. Dylan Raiola.
Okay.
I need for you to spend 7 minutes letting people know what you see from the young QB here at Nebraska. Barry Thompson, DP, one-on-one, 93.7 The Ticket.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
How many times has the dad in your life complained about being tired and sore and done nothing about it? Why not change things up this year for Father's Day with a gift certificate for a massage from the Body Shop? It's not a day at the golf course or a new tool for the shop, but it is something that can make activities less painful going forward. Get Dad a gift certificate today for Father's Day at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Without a strong IT partner, your business ends up overspending, underperforming, wearing too many hats, complicating your work, and more. Applied Connective Technologies can help with experts in every facet of technology. If it plugs in, powers on, or charges up, they're your people. Imagine being able to call one team for all your technology solutions rather than a village of vendors and providers. For all your needs in managed IT and cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, infrastructure, and audio or video, head to appliedconnective.com to better your business today. Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and air park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter. Every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the pursuit of justice for those that have been injured. My name is Eric Hagan, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our detail-oriented trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Once again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277
or judsonirrigation.com.
You're listening to One on One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to One on One with Fairfax Football Academy's Barry Thompson, QB coach extraordinaire. I was telling Harrison in the break that in that group that we were talking about in a 3-year run, that not only did you go over to Flint Hill and win state titles, plural, consecutively, but in that just core group from Woodson High School, that if we just said the names Peter Murray, Pat, they went to the Air Force Academy, became officers, Pat Riley, who went to West Point, Kyle Hamrock, Academy, Dean Rye, at Naval Academy, Andres Fidel, Air Force Academy, fighter jet pilot. We've got Rangers, all in the same cluster of high school students in this little town in Fairfax, Virginia, who were all under this same window.
Right. And you're forgetting great things Jacob I know you're not forgetting, but the great things Jacob Oliar is off doing. And Will Kogan, if you didn't know it, has, I think, 2 state titles as a coach. He's coaching back here locally.
All in the same little pocket. And you just go, okay. So we caught lightning in a bottle by making academics and having standards, which is why when we watch
that made me laugh just the way that came off.
Right. Like when we watch it, we just go, wow. You know what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
You had also opportunity. You've been developing Division I quarterbacks all up and down the coast.
Right.
And I asked you to look at Dylan Raiola with clean eyes. So it's not with the Nebraska vision. It's not from the local vision. It is from a quarterback guru position. What do you see in Dylan Raiola?
Well, I see everything everybody else sees. Very, very talented. And I think the most exciting part for me watching quarterbacks as they mature is there's a lot of things about him that we can't see, that we won't know. Right. So how do those tools get deployed? What's going to be his maturation process? You know, he seems to be a lean forward type of guy, but how quickly will he grow into the team leader and that be his team? You've got, and you also have to be very careful about what's put around him. I was, doing a little work. It seems a lot of talk about the run game. The defense is fairly stout. Those are things that you want to hear for a young quarterback to be successful. Hey, we're going to make a commitment to running the ball, and we're going to make sure the defense is going to be tough giving up points. Those two things are very, very necessary for young quarterbacks to get off and have a lot of success. When you look at the spring game and you look at his efficiency and you look how things were done, not everything was fantastic. There was a lot of screen passes, short things. Those are the things that make up a football game, and how consistently a guy can do that is really going to determine how successful the team is, and he is. And then you have the moments that come up, right? He doesn't seem like this a guy that shies away from everything. But again, I'm talking about a lot of things that we can't see. We don't know. I'm taking a guess. One thing that stands out to me about him, and I'm willing to guess, is he's a quarterback who wants to be great, right? And so then how does that premise get worked out is going to be a lot of fun. But it seems like these organizations sometimes when they get a good quarterback, there are organizations that from college to high school to pros, all of a sudden it seems like they make a lot of smart decisions. And a lot of them are based on how can we help this quarterback be successful? And it seems like that's kind of coalescing around him. And it will just be interesting to see how he handles everything here on out. I'm excited to watch him play.
Barry, what are the things that you have to do? If there's 3 things that you have to do to help a young quarterback develop, especially in a vacuum like Nebraska and the Big Ten Conference?
Well, one, give him a defense and run the game. And the third thing is make sure that he completely understands the game, how to prepare, right? He can throw the ball, can do all that stuff, but how does he prepare? I don't know how he does it. I know he comes from a coaching family, but how does he prepare? What is his understanding of everything that's going on down distance time and score. I've said this before, the quarterback job is unique in that the better that you get at it, the bigger the job becomes. Well, he's really good, and his job has become bigger, not in terms of the fans, but in terms of now what does he need to do on a consistent basis to be great like I think he wants to be. And then is he willing to do it? Not everybody's willing to do it.
Yeah, he's putting in the work, and I think it's fascinating to watch. Again, you like to talk about the 15 throws.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan can make all 15 throws.
Yeah, he can make all of them. That's not a question. So now how do you know if you give me the biggest, shiniest set of tools in the world, right, and they're all lined up, they're steel, whatever you like, and give me the John Deere tractor and all stuff, then the question becomes, am I a carpenter? And if I am a carpenter, what am I going to build with all these tools? And so that's, I think, going to be the exciting part of watching him. I'm excited to watch him play.
It's going to be a full year, and Barry, to have you back in the fold and to have you break down some of what you see, and then to help you kind of expand and grow into what you're doing. Kind sir, I say it again publicly. Thank you for being who you are and a lifetime of being able to ride shotgun with you, bro. Greatly appreciate you, BT.
It's mutual. Thank you, DP.
All right, that'll be it. Hey, speaking of Northern Virginia in the DMV, DeMornay Pearsonell up next here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey, next week, Barry, we'll talk about DP in high school. We're going to get some of those stories because we got plenty.
Yeah, he's something else.
All right,
Bye-bye.
DP
Bye-bye.
up next on The Ticket.